Welcome to the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast. Over 90% of today's home buyers start their buyer journey online. Here we talk with not only industry experts, but also your fellow home builder marketers to learn how you can succeed in our incredibly competitive digital world. And now, here are your hosts, Greg Bray and Kevin Weitzel.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast. I'm Greg Bray with Blue Tangerine.
And I'm Kevin Weitzel with Outhouse.
And we're excited today to have joining us Felicia Berry. Felicia is an OSC at Viera Builders. Welcome, Felicia. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Well, Felicia, let's start out by just helping people learn a little bit more about you. Give us that quick introduction and some of your background.
My background is basically start out as a graphic designer in doing marketing and communication for about 15 years, and then moved into just doing marketing for Viera Builders for the last 5 years, and then decided to move into sales and got my real estate license. Then we started an OSC program for Viera Builders, and then it became me. I've been doing it now for 8 months, and here we are.
Well, that is quite the pathway, which we're going to have to unpack that a little bit because you've had a rather unorthodox pathway to being an OSC. However, before we jump into that, Felicia, could you please give us one little tidbit that has nothing to do with work, it has nothing to do with the home building industry, personal about you that our listeners will learn about you today?
I recently got married on Friday the 13th in October and had a Halloween-themed wedding.
Cool.
Yeah, everybody came in costumes. We got married by Beetlejuice. It was awesome.
By Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that could have made that better was to have that creepy little guy marry you.
The little short man, yeah. We even had Beetlejuice pull out the dead finger with the rings on it,
Oh, I love it.
just like he did in the movie.
I love it.
Friday the 13th has now got new meaning, right? There you go.
Right, it does. I know. We want to do something memorable and fun, and it was both. So
Now, Kevin, I have to add one thing about Felicia that everybody may not know. She was a silver award winner for the Rookie OSC of the Year this year at the Nationals.
So 8 months and she's already winning awards. That's crazy.
I had won that award when I had only been doing it for 2 months. So I'm super proud of that. And so I'm hoping next year for gold.
You can't be rookie again next year. I'm just saying, you're going to have to move up a category.
No. No, next year I would have to go in for OSC of the year and I lose the rookie status, but I'm confident. I'm excited.
Well, before we talk more about OSCs, just give us that quick overview of Viera Builders, kind of where you guys are located, the areas you build in, and the kind of buyers that you're working with.
Sure. So we have a couple of very unique things about Viera Builders. First of all, we are a builder right now, primarily in the master planned community of Viera, which is located in Melbourne, Florida. We are owned by the same family that owns the Viera company, owns Viera Builders. So our land developer is the Viera company, is also, in the same building as us. So we have a unique relationship with them. Viera Builders is coming up on its 20th anniversary of being a company. It was started in the first crisis of real estate market dive back in the 2004-2005 era. Our area is unique in that we're in the Space Coast industry heart. So we've got Patrick Space Force Base, we've got Kennedy, we've got NASA, we've got Harris, Northrop Grumman. All of that is right here. So 75% of our homeowners tend to be engineers. When the rest of the real estate market in the rest of the nation is fluctuating greatly, our little bubble kind of stays a little more stable because we constantly have that influx of relocation, people coming in and out due to the Space Coast industry. So when the real estate market took a dive and all the other builders were kind of like, hey, we're not starting any new building because nobody's buying. We were like, hey, but we still have people that need homes. So they started their own home building company, and that was Viera Builders. So here we are. We are currently building in 4 neighborhoods, and in 2 months, that'll be 6 neighborhoods. We're about to open 2 more. That's our unique little area here.
Weird question, but when you're selling homes to so many like aerospace and engineers, do you have the nerds that come out and they're like, could you do this to my house instead? Or
They measure everything.
they do, don't they?
They come with measuring tapes and pens and paper for every living meeting, and they measure everything.
I knew it. I asked that question jokingly, but I used to sell BMW motorcycles. They have a propensity of gravitating toward engineers, and they will ask you the silliest questions like, what's the hardness of the bolts used on the chassis? I'm like, the hardness of the bolts? Pull the throttle, man. Listen to that sound. That's all you need to know.
It's pretty. Don't you like pretty? Who cares what it does? It's pretty.
That's funny.
Yeah, they do. It keeps you on your toes. It makes our sales team have to be on their toes and know all of those, nuts and bolts about the house because they will ask about them. They will want the proof. They'll want the spec sheets to back it up. They want to know a lot of details that your normal homeowner is not really worried about or asking about.
I just want to go on record. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying.
I
I'm
should,
just
yeah, I
saying.
shouldn't have said normal homeowner, right? Like they are normal homeowners. They
Greg took a little bit of that personal right
little
there.
personally, sorry about that. Yeah. Other homeowners, yes, yes.
All right, so Felicia, you went from graphic design to the marketing department to going, sure, I want to sell stuff and be an OSC. Tell us when that moment was that you went, you know what, I want to be on the sales side, and what kind of pulled you into that?
So in my marketing position here at Viera Builders, I was in charge of the brochures. So I knew every floor plan, every flex option that came with every floor plan. I managed their contracts and every update, every addendum, every exhibit. I'm managing the CRM, the database that goes into it, all the ins and outs, all the signage, the model home openings, the neighborhood openings, and all of that. I'm working very closely with the sales team all the time, in marketing. It was pulling me in, and I was just like, I want to talk to these people. I want to help them. I'm over here with a lot of knowledge. I have a lot of answers that I want to be able to help people. So we started learning about the OSC position right when I was finishing up my real estate license, and my plan was to go right into sales. Then my boss at the time said, hey, what would you think about us starting an OSC position? And I was like, I don't even know what that means. And so she sent me to Clearwater for a 4-day retreat where I met Leah Fellows and took all of her classes for the OSC retreat and learned what that role is and how it functions and how it sits as the bridging gap between marketing and sales. I was hooked. I was sold. So I came back and said, here's what this position is, and here's what it does. Here's how it functions. Here's how it benefits the company on both the marketing side and the sales side. Here's how it benefits the customer journey, which is the ultimate goal. So then we hired Leah Fellows to help us establish the OSC position for our company and to train me as an OSC. At that same time, we decided we were going to switch CRMs. So we took on Lasso as a new CRM. So I was training to be the OSC. At the same time, I'm training to learn how to do Lasso and helping them integrate everything from the old system into the new and get that up and running. And then I had to in turn train the sales team on how to use Lasso and introduce them to me as the OSC. And hey, here's all the changes all at once that we're all going to make together. And they were all on board because I had worked so intimately with them for the last 5 years in the marketing role. I feel like there was a great deal of trust that they had in me. And so a lot of times when you establish a new OSC role, the sales team's like, whoa, 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 you're taking our leads and you're doing what with them? But we didn't have that battle because I already had that relationship with them and they knew that I knew what I was doing. And I explained to them very thoroughly how this is actually going to benefit them, and then training them on Lasso. It all just went very seamlessly.
I noticed you use the term change CRM, not implement a CRM. So obviously you see the importance of being able to handle all that data, handle all the communications.
Absolutely.
You don't have to mention the old CRM, but what was the purpose of moving from one platform to another? Was it because you felt that there was going to be a better use case scenario?
It was 2 reasons. One, a little back history. Viera Builders uses like 5 different databases to accomplish everything. There's a lot of double entry and a lot of who's doing what, who's on first. And so we decided we were going to go with a whole new database system called Prism that was going to incorporate all 5 of those into one system. So the whole company is using one system, from purchasing, estimating, sales, construction, warranty, architect. Everybody's using the same system. So this is kind of a year-long undertaking that we're trying to implement this. And they use Lasso. So it was like, okay, well, we know that's the future that we're headed to. Now that we're making the change of including an OSC, now would be the best time to change the CRM that we know we're going to need in the future anyway. The second reason is the one that we were using was failing us miserably and nobody would use it. So it just really wasn't working. We needed something that could work for us. It was a seamless way to kick off the OSC position because I was able to at the same time set up a whole new follow-up system for myself, for the sales system, for the sales team. And then with the new system came new follow-up, and then everybody just started with a new blank slate. It was awesome.
So, Felicia, there was a lot there in that history. I'd love to step back to one key decision point, right? Because the position of OSC, no offense, it's not new in the industry. Okay. It's been around, it's been around for a while.
Sure. We're latecomers to the table. Yeah.
But you're not the latest. There's still some out there behind you.
We're not last. So that's what's important.
You're not in last place, because I'm still surprised at how many builders don't have this position or something similar to it, or they say they have it, but they're not very effective at using it. So did you have insight kind of at the executive mindset level where they finally went, gosh, we need an OSC program, and what kind of finally pushed them? We're not trying to embarrass them or anything else, but just learn from that moment of, gosh, we actually need this. Any thoughts on what drove that?
Yes, we knew that we had leads coming in from all different online sources. They would come in through the marketing department, and we would simply forward the lead out to the sales team and hope something happened. We had
Mm.
no way of finding out if it did. And if they did it turn into anything? Did it drop dead? Did they become an appointment? Did they become a contract? We didn't know. We didn't have any way of tracking it. We had no analytics to show, hey, here's what our marketing dollars are going towards to generate these leads. Are they working? Are they not working? Which one works better than the other? We didn't have any idea. We didn't have any metrics to be able to show on the marketing side or the sales to follow any of that line of what's happening with our leads. We really didn't know. It was at that point where we were like, the OSC is the answer.
So then somebody says, all right, OSC is the answer. What's like step one to kind of start that process and decide you want one, and nobody exactly knows what that means? You mentioned some training, but where did you kind of decide, oh, what do we need to do first?
The training happened first. It was about 4 to 6 months of training the position. It's way more than you think it is. You think, what are they going to tell me how to answer the phone and email? I could do that. But holy cow, it's so much more than you think. And you're just days and days and days of going through this learning material. You're like, wow, I never thought of this. I never thought of that. So it was really a very in-depth training that really prepares you for every situation. And you don't know what you don't know, right? Until you dig in. And then even at the end of it, I thought, okay, I am fully prepared. I am going to rock this. And then you start taking your leads and you're like, what do I do? Leah was still there for me to text her and call her. And what do I do with this? What do I do with that? Oh, okay. So it took me probably a good 2 months to kind of settle into the groove, to figure out, really what I'm doing, because they're training you on how a broad spectrum of the job goes. Here's what you should be doing. But every builder is going to do things slightly differently, because every builder has different processes, different demographics of how they build homes or who they're reaching and everything. So it took me about 2 months to figure out how to kind of tailor it to our needs and our processes. And then from there, it skyrocketed. It was like, okay, now we've got it. We figured it out. That first step was definitely the training, and then implementing that with your sales team, having that sit down meeting with them and saying, here's what we're going to do. We're going to interrupt the process of how it has been going. Here's why, and here's how it's going to benefit you. That's the biggest part of selling that position to the sales team, is it's going to benefit you. I'm going to take all of the people that are not really a lead, not really a qualified lead, off your plate. And I'm going to do all the legwork for you and then hand you on a silver platter a qualified lead that you would have gotten anyway. You just didn't have to sift through the sand to find them. That frees up their time to really just concentrate on the leads, the good qualified leads. So
I love that analogy, just that you don't have to sift through the sand. You can just take the nuggets of gold that are uncovered from the dirt.
yes, I will sift for you all day long.
I love that, because we used to fight with that with the salespeople on the automobile side, because we were doing OSCs and BDCs back 20 plus years ago. The salespeople were just so vehemently against it. They're just like, they're going to steal my thunder. Rawr. Wow, sift through the sand.
Yeah. And I am a long-term sifter. I will sift through that sand for a lot longer than the average sales manager. They're going to follow someone up for 30 days and they're like, nah, they're not going to sign. They're moving on.
Yeah.
But I will hunt you down for months and months and months.
Can I ask you an insider question? If you can't answer,
Yes.
this is fine. Do you have any of those nuggets where you have chased and sifted and provided to the sales team a lead that any sales manager would consider a dead or an obsolete lead that converted to a sale?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I get so excited. The longer it's been, from my first initial contact to when I can actually set an appointment, I get so excited. I'm like, ooh, I got a 4-monther. I just won the gold medal of leads here. I finally got them. Some don't take any work at all. Some are just calling in and they're ready. Some really take a lot of work, a lot of follow through, and a lot of questions. Life happens. People have stuff going on in their own lives. So it's not necessarily that they're ready to make a decision or not, but other things are going on in their lives. And then they go, oh, yeah, I was talking to them. And they'll reach out to you a month later and, okay, now I'm ready to talk about it some more. And some are just a slower burn. But when you can finally get them across that threshold, it's really exciting.
Okay, I have to ask, what do you do for 4 months to stay in touch with somebody that does not become annoying? Tell us about the 4-monther and what was involved.
Yeah, I use BombBomb. It's my very best friend. I have built in a series of BombBomb videos that go with my follow-up campaign emails. About every 2 or 3 emails that go out, I have a different BombBomb video. It's just a short 1 minute or less, but it's talking about different things you'd think that they're thinking about along that road. If you're 38 days out, you're thinking about different things than people that are 3 days out or 6 months out. So you're trying to address those different things with those short little videos. And then I get so much satisfaction when I send that out and then I get an email saying, hey, someone just watched your BombBomb video. I'm like, yes. We do a series of phone calls and texts and the follow-up campaign emails, and then some of them have the BombBomb emails in there. We really try to keep it very conversational so it doesn't look spammy. Like, here's yet another email that looks the exact same way with the same photo and the same whatever. So we try to incorporate some real live conversational things in there. Like 6 months later, the text subject line is, are you ghosting me? So something to get somebody's attention and keep it real. We're not looking to look like we're spamming you with a bunch of preset emails that look like they're preset emails. That's our game plan.
I have the similar thing, but I don't use video, but I should use video. I have a picture of me dressed up as Fat Elvis. So my outreach to people, to home builders that have ghosted me when I'm outreaching them, is an email with a picture of me as Fat Elvis. And I say, what do I got to do to get you to answer my email? Dress up like Elvis? Because apparently I will do it.
I know. And we have a follow-up email that goes out after week 1 where I have a chalkboard sign at my desk that I will write their first name on, and I will hold it up in the picture with me, and it's got your name written on there. It says, hi, Kevin. Hi, Greg. Then you film your video, you say, hey, I'm here. I've reached out to you. I'm just reaching out again. You're going to hear from me again. But when someone gets an email and they see your face with a sign with your name on it, just out of curiosity, you got to click on it, right? That gets a lot of views.
So tell us a little more about the video production process. You're talking about videos, and videos sometimes scare people. We actually had an episode recently where we discussed some of the BombBomb tools specifically. But are you just doing these on the webcam at your desk? Are you guys doing some of these shots like on site? Are you doing some other types of things? What are you doing for kind of that video process and content?
We created a video that is on our website. That's the introduction to me, just saying, hey, thanks for visiting our website. Fill out the form and I'll reach out to you. It's just like a 10-second video. Then we created a series of videos in our model homes with different outfits. So it doesn't look like, hey, there she is again in the same day in the same outfit.
Felicia doesn't change her clothes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went out with 7 different outfits, and then we went from model home to model home to model home so they don't have the same background, and we filmed that series of videos out in the field because, it's fun to look at model home in the background and go, oh, well, what's that staircase behind her? That's pretty cool. And then I also shot a series of videos introducing our sales managers. So after I make an appointment and am sending you out that confirmation email, it has a video clip of me saying, hi, this is your sales manager, Ian, that's going to meet with you. This is him. He's standing here. And then he goes, hi, I'm really looking forward to meeting you. Thanks for, blah, blah, blah. So now they have a face and a name that they know they're looking for before they even get there, which our realtors specifically love. They're like, thank you for that, because sometimes they're walking into a place that has several sales managers in it. And they're like, who is my appointment with? I don't know. So those videos were out on location. We did all of the introductory to our sales managers at the design studio. And then we did the follow-up campaigns in the different model homes and the website one. But then the ones where I'm sending it out a week later to a prospect that says, hi, Kevin, hi, Greg, I'm just doing here at my desk, because it looks real. It looks like I'm a real person sitting here in an office, and I've put your name up and said, hey, I'm trying to reach you. So a variety of different places.
Okay, so some of these are in the moment and others are a library that you go tap into that are kind of reusable across your follow-up path.
Yes, correct.
I think it's great you're so comfortable with that. That's fantastic.
So Felicia, let me ask you this. You're using video, and a lot of OSCs, they're assigned to just go in and do the job, to answer the phones, enter it in the CRM, push the leads off to the sales team when applicable, et cetera, et cetera. But it sounds to me like you are actually driving the ship on a lot of your processes. Like you aren't being told by a sales and marketing manager, I need you to shoot some of these videos. Sounds like you're taking the reins and making sure that stuff happens.
Absolutely. Yes. When, I was doing the training with Leah, she was laying the foundation for everything that one could do. And I was just taking notes furiously. I wanted to do all of that and more. Like, I want to make the most out of this position that I can. I want to make this the most successful position that Viera Builders has ever had. I am just an Aries and I'm competitive. So I want to do a great job. I like to take the bull by the horns and say, hey, let me do this. And this is why, this is how I think it'll, benefit us. And I have a great leadership team that's like, okay, cool, we'll help you.
So Felicia, I know that often OSCs sit in between marketing and sales. Sometimes they aren't quite sure where they fit. Am I part of the sales team? Am I part of the marketing team? Because they're in this bridge mode. How have you guys kind of addressed that? Do you feel like you're off in your own little island and not part of either team? Or are you the bridge, or are you part of one more than the other? How does that work?
Again, a phenomenal team around me of leadership that lets me sit firmly in both teams so that I have input in both teams. For my title, I'm part of the sales team, online sales counselor is technically part of the sales team, but it is so vastly part of marketing as well. And I've been part of the marketing department for so long that they let me sit firmly in both positions and to be that bridge between the two. Now that we have Lasso and now that we have my position and we can track secondary sources and we can track all of the leads coming in and where they're going and which ones are converting and how everything's doing, how our website leads are converting, man, we can track all these really cool analytics now that tell us both how the marketing team is doing and how the sales team is doing. It's helped us to really be able to narrow in what are we doing, what's working and what's not working. And if it's not working, let's not do it anymore. Let's not beat that dead horse anymore because it's not worth our dollars. So let's change course. Again, my leadership is completely on board with that. We just recently changed one of our secondary sources that just wasn't working for us. And when I was at the International Builder Show in Vegas, I had the opportunity to talk with some other secondary sources that were there on the exhibitor floor and say, okay, what can you offer us? What can you offer us? What can you? And then I came back and said, okay, this is the one that we want to go with. And they were like, okay, sign on the dotted line and let's change and move forward. So I'm really, really fortunate to have that. I know a lot of people don't, but it's a great team that's really supporting me in taking this by the horns. So far, it's been a great experience. The proof is in the pudding. The numbers have been great.
So as you ponder how this process flows, typically the OSC, kind of the goal is to create that appointment, get that handoff to the sales team. Are you finding though that the buyers don't quite stay so linear? Do you get people coming back to you like through the website and things after you thought you had already handed them off to somebody on the sales team? Are you comfortable dealing with that? Wait a minute. I thought I was done with you, kind of a thing, right?
Well, yeah. Ask your sales manager. Don't ask me. No, I am always the fallback guy because I am that first relationship that they establish with. I've built that comfort and that trust level with them. And then even though they have the handoff and they may go to contract, they may contact me a month later after they've signed a contract and say, hey, I can't get a hold of, my sales manager. It's their day off. I just have a question and I know you. And so I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm happy to continue that because my goal is the customer journey. Obviously, my job is to sell the appointment and blah, 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 but the reason for having my position in this company is to help the customer journey be better, to help the funnel be better. I can't make the handoff and then be absent. I've got to stick it out throughout the whole journey and be there for the people that you've established that connection with. So yeah, every now and then they'll come back and reach out and have questions and I'm happy to answer.
So funny little side note, Greg, car dealership that I worked at had a What You Talking About Willis award. And it was a pin of shame that you had to wear, which was a little picture of the guy that played Arnold's brother on Different Strokes. If you missed a call from one of your clients and it went to the BDC, you got called out for it and you had to wear the What You Talking About Willis award.
Wow.
It was amazing.
There's a whole segment of our audience, Kevin, that's going to have to go look up Different Strokes. I have no idea what you're talking about.
They're like, what's Different Strokes? What is this?
They're like, what is that? Is that an app?
How many different strokes could you have? Do they lead to medical problems the rest of your life? What are they?
Yeah. And it's one of those great examples of how one little kid can brand a phrase forever. And I won't even try to imitate it. I was about to. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. Not going to do that. Felicia, as we kind of come in for a wrap up here, if we've got a builder and there's somebody on the sales team or somebody on the marketing team that's going, you know what, we need an OSC program. We are so behind. I've heard about these things. They sound great, but for whatever reason, I can't get upper management to really buy in. What kind of advice would you share with them to help them get that conversation moving in a positive way?
If they could share with their leadership the analytical data that you're going to be able to gather, which will help your marketing team and your sales team both be more successful. It will help your buyers' customer satisfaction ratings. It helps their journey. Everything you're doing is helping the whole process just be better. You want your marketing dollars to be going to something that's working. And if you don't know that, then you're just throwing away money. You don't even know you're throwing away money. But now with the OSC position, where we can track all that data, we know we're not throwing away money because we've gotten rid of the things that aren't working. Same thing with the sales team. It allows you to shore up that sales process and follow up after their follow-up to make sure that no lead gets left behind, where before you don't know what's happening. You toss it out there and you hope that somebody picks it up in the wind. There's so much that your marketing team and your sales team can do to work together to have a better customer journey. And the OSC is that person to make that happen.
No lead left behind. That's our new title for this one, I think. No lead left behind. Love it. One more question. As an OSC team that's not very big, it's just you, right?
It's just me.
How do you deal with the 24/7 coverage challenge?
The beauty of CallRail. So I don't work on the weekends. CallRail takes my number and my leads and forwards it directly to the sales team on the weekends so that I don't work on the weekends. But CallRail is a tool just as important to us as BombBomb that allows us to redirect when I'm not here so that we're not losing anything.
Felicia, for what it's worth, I think you're amazing. If I was on the voting committee for the Nationals, you would have got a gold, just so you know. It's my personal opinion. You would have got a gold.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. That would be my parting statement to any OSCs out there that are not taking it by the horn. Take control. It's your job. Make the most of it that you can and show your company what you can do.
If there's somebody who would love to connect with you, what's the best way for them to reach out and get in touch?
Probably our website, because my smiling face is right there and you can just click on me and it'll take you right to me. Our website is vierabuilders.com.
Well, thanks again for being with us, Felicia.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
And thank you, everybody, for listening today to the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast. I'm Greg Bray with Blue Tangerine.
And I'm Kevin Weitzel with Outhouse. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. To learn more about how Blue Tangerine and Outhouse can help you generate more qualified home buyer leads, visit bluetangerine.com and outhouse.net. If you've enjoyed our show today, please tell a friend, leave us a review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Be sure to join us again on the Home Builder Digital Marketing Podcast.